Embedded systems are an essential part of our daily lives, from the smartphones we use to the smart home devices we rely on. But creating these complex systems requires careful planning, design, implementation, and testing. In this video, we'll be discussing the embedded development lifecycle, a systematic approach to developing embedded systems. The planning phase is the first step in the embedded development lifecycle. It involves gathering requirements, defining project scope, and creating a project plan. The requirements gathering process involves determining what the system needs to do and how it should behave. This is usually done through interviews with stakeholders and end users, as well as by studying the environment in which the system will operate. Once the requirements are gathered, the next step is to define the project scope. This involves determining the boundaries of the project, including what will be included and what will not. It is essential to clearly define the project scope to avoid misunderstandings and ensure that everyone is on the same page. Finally, a project plan is created. This plan includes timelines, milestones, and the roles and responsibilities of everyone involved in the project. This plan serves as a roadmap for the rest of the development process. The design phase is where the requirements gathered in the planning phase are transformed into a concrete system design. This involves breaking down the requirements into smaller components and determining how they will work together. The design phase includes both hardware and software design. Hardware design involves selecting the appropriate hardware components, such as microcontrollers, sensors, and actuators, and designing the circuitry and layout of the system. Software design involves developing the algorithms, protocols, and interfaces that the system will use to perform its tasks. The output of the design phase is a detailed system design document that includes the hardware and software components of the system, as well as their specifications and how they will be integrated. The implementation phase is where the system design is transformed into a working prototype. This involves writing the software code, building the hardware, and integrating the components together. During this phase, it is essential to test the system continually to ensure that it meets the requirements specified in the design phase. The testing phase is where the system is thoroughly tested to ensure that it works as expected. This includes testing the hardware and software components separately and together as a system. Testing can be done through simulation, emulation, or using actual hardware components. The testing phase should include both functional and non-functional testing, such as stress testing, reliability testing, and security testing. The embedded development lifecycle is a systematic approach to developing complex embedded systems. By following this process, developers can ensure that their systems meet the requirements and specifications laid out in the planning and design phases. By understanding this process, developers can build more reliable and robust embedded systems that meet the needs of users.